lot of Christians out there that love to tell me that I am going to hell. They like to tell me that I'm lost and that they're going to definitely pray for me. They like to tell me that how can my life have any meaning without God? Without God, I must be meaningless. Or just in regular discussion, when it gets brought up, and I tell them that I don't believe in God, they get immediately defensive. And I know a lot of us have probably had these sort of encounters before. They get angry, a little bit weird. I've always thought that is so fascinating, because if your faith is real and you truly believe that the creator of the entire universe, the most powerful being in existence, is on your side, why the hell does my disbelief mean so much to you? Think about that. You believe in an all-knowing, all-powerful God, and that an eternal life of bliss is waiting for you on the other side. You believe that you are loved unconditionally by the most powerful being in existence, and you're threatened by what I have to say? A person that simply doesn't share your same belief. I'm not here to attack you when I say that I don't agree with you. I'm not trying to take your God away. I'm just sitting here existing in disagreement, but that's it. And that is sometimes enough to make you uncomfortable and sometimes openly hostile to me. Why? That's the question. And the answer is a lot more uncomfortable than Christians like to admit. Here's what's really going on. Your faith is not as solid as you claim it to be. I know that's gonna piss you off. Good. Stay with me. Deep down, underneath the church attendance and the Bible verses and that little cross you like to wear around your neck, there is doubt. There is always doubt. Because you're human, and humans tend to doubt things that they can't prove. The doubt doesn't go away because you pray harder. It doesn't go away when your pastor tells you to just have more faith. It sits there, quiet, patiently waiting. And when you look at somebody like me, someone who looked at the questions that you're afraid to ask and actually asked them, that doubt gets louder. I am not threatening your faith. I am just a mirror. And you don't like what you see. There's a term for this, actually. It's called cognitive dissonance. It happens when you encounter something in the world that contradicts what you so deeply claim to believe. And the way most people fix their cognitive dissonance isn't by updating their beliefs. It's by attacking the person that caused the conflict in the first place. So when a Christian meets a non-believer, such as myself, meets a non-believer who is content and happy in their non-belief, that they don't need God to be happy, here functioning, living a decent life without God. That is a direct threat to one of the core claims of Christianity, that you need God to live a meaningful life, and that without Him, you are lost. That without Him, you have no real morality. That without Him, you're just an animal stumbling around in the dark. And then I show up not stumbling, not lost. I'm not miserable. I'm just fine. I'm just here, living my life contently. That tends to break something in the brain. Because if I'm fine without God, then maybe they don't need God either. And that thought is absolutely terrifying to someone that has built their entire existence around the need for a God. It isn't mere psychology. There are social elements to this as well. Christianity, especially in places like the American South, isn't just a religion. It's your community. It's your identity. It's the thing that connects your family, your neighbors, your entire social structure. When you leave that behind, you aren't just saying, I don't believe in this anymore, or that you've grown out of it. You're not just rejecting a theology, you are rejecting the whole group. And humans are deeply tribal. We have been since before we were even fully human. Rejection of the group or the tribe is one of the most threatening things that one human can do to another. So when I come along existing as the unashamed atheist that I am, totally and utterly unapologetic about it too, it isn't me just disagreeing with your beliefs. I'm demonstrating to you that it is possible to leave. And that scares the hell out of them, because if I can leave, so can their kids. So can their spouse. So can the person sitting next to them in the pews at church, who's been having these doubts for years. I am not a threat to their God. I'm a threat to their community. And apparently that's worse. And think about it. This is why they're so obsessed with converting people. It's not, and I want to be super fucking clear on this, it's not just about saving your soul. If it was about saving your soul, they would present their argument once, and then when rejected, they would just leave it be and respect your right to make that decision for yourself. But they don't do this. They come back and back and back with more Bible verses, more "I'm praying for you," with more guilt and more "but what if you're wrong?" Because converting you isn't about you, it's about them. Every single person that they bring into the fold is more proof to them that their faith must be true. And every person that stays out is a reminder that it may not. You are, as the non-believer, a walking, talking embodiment that defies everything they claim to believe in, everything that they've built their entire life around. The only way that they can neutralize that argument is to try and make you one of them. And when the conversion doesn't work, when you hold your ground and say, "I've really thought about this and I just don't believe in it," that's when the mask really comes off. That's when you get the hell threats. "You're going to burn. God's gonna judge you. I feel sorry for you when you meet your maker." And they have the nerve to act like this is some sort of compassionate warning, as if they're doing you a favor. I'm gonna tell you what it actually is. It's a threat. You wouldn't accept this sort of treatment from anyone else. Like, if a stranger came up to you and said, "You're going to do what I say, or it's going to be really fucking bad for you," you would call that coercion. You would call it manipulation. But wrap it in a cross and suddenly it's witnessing. No, it's a temper tantrum. It's what happens when someone realizes that they cannot control you anymore, so they reach for the biggest weapon they possess: eternal damnation. And you're supposed to be scared, all shaking in your boots, and then come crawling back. I'm not fucking scared, and I'm not coming back. Here's what all of this really tells us. It tells us that deep down, on some level they can't consciously admit, Christians know that their faith, the very foundation of it, is fragile at best. Not because they're stupid or bad people, but because fragile things need to be protected. A truly secure faith does not need to silence dissenters. A truly secured belief does not need to threaten people with hell. A truly secured belief doesn't become immediately destabilized the moment someone says, "I don't agree with you," or "I don't believe that that's true." The fact that my existence can make you guys uncomfortable in my defiance of your belief by the mere fact that I don't share it, it isn't evidence of my spiritual emptiness. It's evidence of yours. I don't need you to validate my lack of belief. I don't want your prayers. I don't need your pity. I do not need your conversion attempts, and I certainly do not need your threats of damnation. What you need, and I'm gonna say this with more sincerity that you are probably expecting from me, is to sit alone quietly, without the Bible, without your church, without your pastor, without any of that scaffolding. And ask yourself, what do you actually fucking believe? Not what you were told to believe, not what your community simply believes, and not what you're afraid to stop believing. What you, the individual watching this, actually believe in. And if you cannot do that, if that question is too terrifying for you to even consider, then I think you already know the answer.